Good morning, everyone. I was wondering what to say this morning, and I remembered my first devotion that was inspired by events of almost exactly a year ago now. It was the 16th of March 2020 when Matt Hancock announced in the House of Commons that unnecessary social contact and travel should stop. And 1 week later, of course, on the 23rd, we were all in lockdown. So where has the past 12 months gone? Don't know, it's flown by to me. I know maybe for some of you that's not been the case. I look back to this time a year ago and never in my wildest dreams would I have thought I would be on YouTube doing things like this, doing the devotions. So I'd like to say a really big thank you to all the guys that do the devotions, because I know how hard it actually is to do these, and for those of you that do it regularly, take my hat off to you and just thank you very much. It's been a real inspiration over the past year listening to you all. Some other things I wouldn't have believed possible a year ago too that have happened. For instance, meeting up with friends and family on Zoom, for instance, rather than actually meeting in person. Doing a speed camera awareness course with 8 other people from the length and breadth of the country. That was interesting. Few Bradford City fans, helping my neighbour move 20 tonnes of soil, along with his son and the legendary, he used to work at the Co-op, James Hansen, believe it or not. Apparently he was furloughed from his club over the summer, so needed to get some exercise in moving soil. And then, of course, going to an online funeral, probably not one of the better things, but again, interesting. Again, you would never think of ever going to a funeral online, would you really? But that's what I did for a family member that I didn't know that well, but it was mainly for my mum and dad's sake, really. So as I said earlier, my devotion was inspired by those events a year ago, my first devotion. And I was reminded again of that devotion when I was out for a walk one day on the Rochdale Canal. I was working over there at the time, and I was walking towards the bridge, and I could just see this white graffiti on this bridge. It was the only graffiti that there was on this bridge, and it just caught my attention. And at first I couldn't really read what it says because I was too far away, and as I got closer I began to work out the last letter was an S. I got a bit closer, the first letter was a J, and I thought, oh, this is interesting. And then as I got a bit closer again, I could just about read the whole word, and it said Jesus. And of course, to get a bit closer and closer, and it was quite obvious that was the word Jesus. And it was interesting because it just was like the Lord saying to me at that time, I'm here, I'm with you, don't be afraid, because it was, I guess, at the time of just before lockdown when we were being told not to go too close to people, and people were adhering by that. Certainly they were around there, and you sort of felt like you were walking towards somebody that would dive out the way almost. So that was an interesting time, and that sort of it was what I talked about on my very first devotion. So whatever the last year has brought for you, for me, it's not been the same for everybody, I know that. But I'd like to encourage you now to just look to the future and keeping your eyes fixed on Jesus, just like that sign I saw, the word Jesus. It was like him saying to me, keep your eyes on me and I'll keep you safe. If we keep him at a distance, we don't see him that clearly, do we? We can't, it's like anything that's in the distance, you don't see it as clearly. And also, you can't hear something if it's further away either, can you? It's not as easy to hear something. So again, if we keep ourselves close to the Lord, not only do we see him and feel him closer to us, we can hear him, what he may have to say to us as well. Whereas if he's in the distance, we tend to be, that's not going to happen quite so much. So just to encourage you really, just to keep Jesus close to your side. He's a faithful friend, he's reliable, he's dependent, and he's trustworthy. And he'll always be with you. It's only you that can push him away. He won't push you away. So I'd just like to finish with the verse from Hebrews. It's Hebrews 10, verse 8. I'll show it here. Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. Hebrews 10, verse 8. And just keep that in your hearts this week. And if any of you are not feeling close to him, then, just take some time aside and just, have a time of devotion towards him or a prayer time. Call somebody if you're not feeling too great or you've not felt that close to him recently. Talk to somebody about it. Don't be lonely. That's the main thing I'm trying to say today. Just keep Jesus close to you, and he'll definitely be close to you. He's always there for you. He's the same today, tomorrow, the next day, and forever. So just hold on to that. Amen. Thank you, and God bless.